Twitter is a very interesting place to be. And these Twitter spaces, sometimes can be a little bit too much, but you can learn a thing or two, I think. It's about it's about that time. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. What's going on? Back again with another video giving you my opinions on what's going on with the Ravens, the state of the Ravens, according to Hendo, so to speak. And for the past couple of days, I've been on Twitter and Twitter Spaces listening to groups of people speak about how they feel on the Ravens, what they feel like they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, what they need to do, just getting different views and opinions of what's going on. And listening to these people, it brought me back to before the season even started, when I was online with my boys over at Lunch Break Hot Takes, Jose and Brodney. And one of them said, I think it was Jose, and he said, listen, during the year, the fans are going to complain about the offensive line. For the whole year, they're going to complain. But when it comes draft time, they're going to just want to draft defense. Lo and behold, in all of these Twitter spaces, what did they talk about? Oh, we need to draft this defensive player. We need to go all in on defense, 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 defense. Even though most of them were talking about how bad the O-line was. But they still want to go heavy on defense. And I think that as Baltimore Ravens fans, we're conditioned to think defense. Because for the first, 20-something years of existence, that's all we knew. We knew defense, 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 minus maybe the first year or two when Vinny Testaverde was lighting them up. But that's all we knew. So I don't understand how in one sentence you could say, oh my gosh, the O-line was so bad. Oh, Alejandro Villanueva was terrible. I don't know why we signed him, but with the first pick, we need to draft this defensive player. I just don't get it. Hey, we need to go get Sauce Gardner. Like, hey, we need another corner to compete with this, that, and the third. We need to go get Derek Stingley Jr., even though he really don't like participating in tackling, which is something that we had a problem with last year. So yes, we're going to draft high and bring in another guy that can't tackle. Makes a lot of sense to me, even though the top corners in the 2021 playoffs, they got toasted. Like, the best corners got toasted. The best defenses got burnt. Like, we still stuck on this notion of defense, defense, defense. The number one defense in the playoffs got 42 points scored on them. The number two defense in the NFL got 47. 47 points dropped on them in a playoff game. When defense is technically supposed to win championships, it's proven that they don't. But here we go again. Hey, we need to get this guy. We need to get that guy. David Ajobu from Michigan. You know, we got Mike McDonald as our defensive coordinator, and he knows him very well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take on another Jason Owe, which is a project. Another athletic freak that we don't know if he can really play. But we're going to bring him in, and hopefully he's going to fix the pass rush. Those two are going to fix the pass rush. Now, with that pass rush being better, or these corners covering, is that going to help us score? It's not. Is that going to help us protect Lamar? It's not. So you can't sit here in one hand and say, oh, tackle, but we got 4 fourth round picks. I mean, you're going to wait till the 4th round to get a tackle. Like, I'm not getting it. It befuddles me how people can say one thing and then go out and mean something else. Like, come on now. Get it together. And in my opinion, I think we probably need to double dip. We need to get a starting right tackle, and we need to get possibly a swing tackle or a backup left tackle, because we really don't know what's going on with Ronnie Stanley. We don't know. And for those people that like to defend Eric DeCosta and say, hey, he didn't know this was going to happen with Ronnie. Like, we didn't know. And what I tell people is, it's a bull-faced lie. It's a goddamn lie. He knew Ronnie Stanley was not healthy. The dude did not participate in any off-season activities. He did not. He showed up, and he might have been on the sideline doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But he really didn't do much. And there was, I can't remember who it was, but it was between AV and a pure right tackle that we could have picked up in free agency, and we went with AV. And the reason we went with AV was we needed a left tackle because we knew Ronnie was not going to be healthy. We knew that. So all this, oh, it came as a shock, it came as a surprise. No, it didn't. No, you knew this guy wasn't ready, and you did not prepare for it. So now we go into this draft, and what are we supposed to do? Go defense again? I mean, make it make sense to me. Make it make sense. Protect Lamar, score the points. That's how we win games. That's how the modern NFL is played. Or lest we not forget, 2020 playoffs against Buffalo. We held them to what, 13 points? But we couldn't score. We could not score. You hold a team to 13 points defensively. Don't tell me you need to draft more defensive players, because you don't. You need to draft people that's going to put points on the board. And by putting points on the board, you put more pressure on other teams. You tire other teams out by keeping them on the field. Running out the clock. That's what you do with offense. You don't sit there and play good defense. Like, that just doesn't happen. There are games, there are spurts where teams have phenomenal games defensively. But overall, offense is going to win you a title, because if you cannot score, you will not win. And of course, you're going to have your people that's going to say, hey, we can wait till free agency and pick up some of these pieces. Come on now. Come on. You know the Ravens. You know the Ravens. They are not going to be aggressive during free agency because, for one, we don't have the money. And apparently we can't get the money. The Saints can get the money. The Rams can get the money. All these other teams can seem to find the money, but we can't. So don't expect these holes to be filled in free agency, because throughout history, that is not something that we have ever really done. We have never gone out there and picked up free agents. It's just not going to happen. Now, we might get one. We might get a moderately priced free agent to do something. But as far as filling the needs that we have on the offensive line, we're not going to do it. Will we get Ryan Jensen? I hope so, because then that leaves us with less of a need to draft a center or to develop a center. I know we have TCC as an option, but he's only played, 3 games as center? He did very well, but it's an unknown. And I'm tired of taking risks on unknowns. Like, we didn't really know with Bradley Bozeman. And, of course, he did well and priced himself out of Baltimore. So don't expect free agency to be the cure-all for what we need, because we don't do it as a franchise. It's just not going to happen. So one gentleman said last night, he put it, look, offensive tackle is not a need of the draft. It is the need of the draft. That is what we need to focus all our attention on. Offensive tackle. Possibly a guard, because we don't know what's going to happen with Tyree Phillips or Ben Cleveland. Now, if we can find one that can play, good. Icing on the cake. But we need to get on that tackle. Now, I understand that we need help on the interior defensive line. I get it. We need a playmaking free safety. I get it. We need a linebacker that can tackle. I get it. And we damn sure need a linebacker that can cover, because these backs and these tight ends are killing us. We need all of these things. So I think we would be better off, and we can find these later gems, especially at linebacker and interior line, later in the draft, because we've done it. We need solid offensive line play, because if we cannot protect Lamar, we cannot win. Plain and simple. Like, what don't people get about that? So stop going up here talking about we need a safety, a corner, and all this other stuff. Yes, we possibly do. But if Humphrey and if Marcus Peters comes back healthy, then we have 2 corners. We have them. So why are we reaching in the first round in the top 14 picks to bring in another cornerback? Like, it does not make sense to me. I'm going to tell you, like my mom used to tell me, make it make sense. I can't. I can't do it. So, once again, stop complaining about the offensive line and then coming back and saying we need to draft defense. Make it make sense. Okay, I get it. I get it. Drafting offensive linemen is not the sexy thing to do. It's not going to bring people into the stadium. It's not going to sell tickets. It's not going to get you hype. I understand that. It's not going to get you views for making videos about offensive linemen. It's not it. But I mean, think about it. If you look back at the Ravens' first draft, we had a choice between John Ogden and Lawrence Phillips. And everybody wanted to go with the running back, Lawrence Phillips. And they were like, oh, a tackle. We have a tackle. We don't need him. Let's go with the running back. Like, that's sexy. We need that. That's that skill glamour position. But what do? We went on and we drafted a Hall of Famer. And Lawrence Phillips was a bust. May he rest in peace. But he was a bust. And we made the correct choice. Now, this is a similar situation where we need to build. And I hate to bring them up because they lost me my Pick'ems championship. And I can't stand this team. But the Dallas Cowboys, look what they did in 3 of the 4 years in the first round. In 2011, they drafted Tyron Smith. In 2013, they drafted Travis Frederick. And in 2014, they drafted Zach Martin. And that offensive line was killing. Like, they were protecting Dak like nobody else's business. And people wonder why he had such a good rookie season. Look what he had around him. Look what Zeke had around him blocking. And that's what we need to get to. I'm not saying every year in the first round we need to go O-line, but we need to start prioritizing it and get back to playing Ravens football. Because this is not it. This ain't Ravens football. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what direction we're going in. But let's stop being hypocrites and saying one thing and then wanting to do another. All right, y'all. Till next time.
Since you're here, hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment, and ring that bell.
It's about that time.